Hey everybody. We're back to Persona tonight. I think we're just about ready to take on the boss. We did like 3 waves of side quests. Oh, you know what? I think there's actually one more stupidly difficult boss battle to do. On my little anti-missable quest list thing I have, this is listed on a later date, but it's available to me now for some reason, so we'll probably give that a try. And I probably don't have any shopping to do right now,
What are you selling?
because I would have done that at the end of the last stream.
Are you sure?
Hey Calcitrat, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I know, we're now establishing a thing where you guys like seeing me get beat up, so
Are you sure?
I guess I'll be delivering on that. Oh shit, I didn't want to sell that. Let's reload a save. Off to a really good start. Okay, now let's actually check the shop and not sell all my things.
Now's your chance to shop.
Yeah, these are all on hold, so I guess we'll just go right into the jail. Which I thought it was in Sapporo, but I guess Shibuya. I don't know if that's good or bad, since that's the first area. Like, maybe it'll be easy. But maybe I'm on like a second cycle now or something. So that could also be terrible. For my party, I probably have who I want already. Morgana on Sophia. Let's just hop right in. I think it's just somewhere in this first area.
Now then. Let's get started. What is that?
Oh, yep, there he is. Okay, I guess we'll figure out what his weaknesses are and see if I need to like readjust my party. Oh, Black Frost Chair.
Let's go.
Not weak to fire though, but light, so that's good.
Never us.
Do I have a light combo? I don't think I do. Oh, he is actually null on fire. Hey, Alaprex. Yeah, I was hoping to actually get started a little bit earlier tonight, but then I, like, was feeling really bloated after eating dinner. So I just, like, sat and watched TikTok a bit.
Lily.
I do,
Never trumpet.
still have my Ice Drain
Lily.
couple. This is null, not drain, but I have a light spell. Yeah, I hope you guys, like, made it through Monday okay. So I probably don't actually want Anne. I guess we'll just see how this goes. The real difference here is going to be if he summons mobs or not. Because that was why King Frost took like an hour. I was like watching back some of the footage of that while I was editing stuff today. Oh gosh, I'm going to have trouble pronouncing that. Fonzie22, thanks for following. So if this guy can just like be a boss and not have a million minions, I think I can manage. He said before his downfall.
Sorry.
Oh shoot, Morgana is down.
Let me help. Like this? Okay. Here it goes. An optimal solution. Sorry, I've got it. Weak to flesh attack. Give up divine mercy.
Seem to be having better luck dodging this time. I'm just getting off some of those auto retaliating things. But he hits really hard.
I'll get you back. Summoning. Let me help.
Let's... Well, I was gonna say save it for an emergency, and then I had an emergency.
I'll get you back.
Alright, let's just do it there.
Go time.
Get him off balance, and then I can heal. We'll get our 1 damage chip in.
Come out. An optimal solution. Whoa, you think this was easy?
At least the animation for that is super obvious, with him, like, grabbing snow off the ground.
It's gonna be rough. Thanks. That might come in handy.
Oh, better use all my guns, too, before people die.
Fire won't work.
No, come on.
Be careful out there. Sophie's stamina is running low. She needs to recharge.
Oh my god.
Showtime! Your heart is mine.
Now, why did that do more damage? Does Anne just have, like, a better stat that feeds into Showtime? Again, I don't think the element, like, plays into, how that works, but Anne definitely did more damage.
It's on here. That hurt.
No.
Careful.
Oh my god.
Someone heal her. Summoning.
Yeah, these boss battles just,
I've got your back.
I think there's a lot of them. I could look at my quest thing here. There's like most of the quests come in chunks on like a couple days. So there's like a handful more quest days before the end of the game. So like probably less than 5 more of these, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Trumpeter! Here!
Mind blowing as always, Joker. Amazing, Joker. He's really something.
I can't even tell if I'm hitting him with that.
Everyone stay focused. Come out.
Okay, we'll be done with that.
Sophie's solid. Watch your health. You're getting wrecked out there.
Persona!
Sophie's with
No duh, Futaba.
Quick mob! With this! Persona! His power! Let's go! Never Trumpeter!
And once again, I'm sure Joker will just change to whatever persona he thinks is best. That would be another really great instance for, like, set behavior. For him specifically, just, like, don't change your persona unless I tell you to.
incoming attack. Brace yourself. Sophie's solid. Summoning. An optimal solution. Fair warning. This one's gonna be rough.
And I had it there for a second with that bull in the way.
Alright, the enemy's attack power's been reduced.
Yeah.
Alright, Sophie's stamina is running low. She needs to recharge. Whoa! Throw Sophie solid.
I need to start jumping over those. I got lucky a couple times at the beginning and just like either auto dodged or manually dodged those perfectly, but usually I actually have to like jump over the AoEs. Hey Jack, thank you for tuning in. We're doing another stupidly long boss battle to start out here. Could you not be though, Anne? Could you be up? Actually, these poles seem like really good for dodging attacks here. None of his attacks seem to have like much height to them. Wonder if I can hit him with persona attacks from on top of the bus here. I think I can hit him with regular attacks for that matter. Do you know Jack Frost? It's like this, but it's white with a blue hat instead of black with purple. This is just like a different version of that. Black Frost instead of Jack Frost. Yeah, what is... I'm just getting like groped to death. God, stop dying, everybody.
I'll use this. Persona! Let's go. Yours.
Ooh, you need to... Yeah, I just saw him coming at me while I was like mid-switching. I'm just gonna hang out behind here for a second. Let's distribute some SP. We'll just do a crab pot. Dang it. This is just really going too slow though. I feel like I'm doing no damage. So maybe I'll try using Joker for a bit and see if I can just like cheese it with ice immunity and just hit him with melee. Sure, we'll do that though. Okay, so let's find Trumpeter and just try this for a bit. Oh, he resists nuke though. That's unfortunate. Wait, why? Why? Wasn't that ice? What the hell? I guess that doesn't count as ice. Fuck. Like physical, maybe? I wouldn't think it would be dark. I assume like that grabby hand thing is dark. Yeah, I guess so, because he doesn't... Like, it clearly looks like ice, but he's not using a Bufu skill. This would be ice. And that's why the other one wasn't, because he's not doing that thing. He doesn't have that, like, identifier over his head. And Deathbound, of course, is also physical. I think whatever that snowball skill is, it just isn't, they aren't putting it under any type category for some reason. Which is weird, because like, every single skill that I have it's either an element, a buff, physical, or a gun. But like, that's within the realm of believability for him to just have an attack and have it be an attack. Since he's like a boss. I'm almost tempted to just like throw this and then see if I can get a light type persona that resists ice. Or preferably like drains or nulls it, so that I could just get off my 3 combo, but then have like more immunity than Sophie does, because she doesn't resist ice. Man, that sucks.
Queen Ma! His power!
I'm so grateful. It's stronger than us, and Curse won't work on it. Don't be intimidated. I got it.
What was that? What the fuck, poles?
Don't overdo it, okay?
This is no time for pole dancing.
Like this. An optimal solution.
Can it hit me on top of the bus? The bus seems like the place to be. Again, not having verticality to his stuff. There, I got like a hot second of everybody railing on him. Let's get you back up.
Switch out!
Hold it together. I'll get you back. Powerful, but it's weak to flesh attacks.
I don't remember what Raccoonda does either. I think it lowers his attack. It would be better if it lowered his defense. Or maybe, no. Sophie's lowers his defense. Whatever Anne has, I think lowers their attack.
I'm so grateful. Your health is bad.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's showtime. Okay.
And then let's just interrupt that fucking Deathbound.
Maximum power. Whoa. How is that useless?
Fine work, Sophie. Your skills know no bounds. Thanks for the backup.
Yep, slow on that.
You're up.
Sure. Persona!
Top team nuclear attacks are useless. Ready for anything. Defense down. Go to town on it. Incoming attack.
Silver lining here, at least I'm not like going nuts on items. You know, by this point in the King Frost battle, I'm sure I'd like use tons.
I'm so grateful. Bonus running out of stamina. Spend it wisely. I'm not done.
Yeah, okay. Just whiff that. No, I guess that does hit me a little bit in the air. Kinda seems like it would, it just didn't seem for a while like anything was.
Thank you.
Alright, let's do a little more SP.
How about this? Here we go. Let me help. All right, the enemy's attack power's been reduced.
Yep, okay. Well, no. I still think what I said earlier was correct, so maybe Anne
Left attack.
lowered his attack power? I don't know. I can probably see attack and defense down if I look at him there.
Thank you. Incoming attack. Brace yourself. No, I'm not done. Wicked follow-up, Sophie. You're nervous.
So random thought here as I'm doing this. Since you guys apparently like seeing me struggle against bosses, you'll probably be happy to hear that after we finish Persona here, which we're making pretty decent progress on. I don't really have a good estimate of like how many more streams to finish, but when I do, then I think I'm going to do the third DLC for Neo 2, which I have been sitting on and haven't played yet. Which, if you aren't familiar with that, it's basically like Japanese Dark Souls, like Japanese themed, because Dark Souls is already Japanese. So that will probably be a lot of me struggling against bosses, and it'll actually be like more interesting fights and not just like a war of attrition.
I'll use this.
I'm so grateful.
And you can like glamour your armor in that, which is nice. Or transmog, like if you're a WoW person. And I have like kind of like a ninja get up with like my left titty hanging out, so that's fun. You guys will probably like that.
You guys have burned a lot of stamina. Don't overdo it, okay? Wicked follow-ups! The other head is all back. You need emergency treatment. Go time! Maximum power! Whoa! You're on another level, Sophie. Glad they didn't nerf that. An optimal solution. Great job, Sophie. It's showtime. Go for it, Joker. It's powerful, but it's weak to bless attacks.
Yeah, I should play Final Fantasy XIV. I think I probably said that last time you guys brought it up. Yes, binary orbitals, I'm that guy. Hopefully,
Here we go.
I'm not annoying the shit out of you.
Okay. Thanks. Easy. No, I'm not done. Wicked follow-up, Sophie. You're nervous.
Anyway, yeah, so I want to play 14, because everybody says it's like the best MMO and the story is great, and I'm all in for Catboys. I just,
Stop now, Sophie.
one, I'm not big on MMOs in general,
I'm not done.
and then two,
Follow-up, Sophie.
I've been put off by like the continual payment thing. But I think there's a lot now you can do just for free. So at that point, you know, like if I did all the free content, maybe I'd be like sucked in enough to pay for it. And speaking of the Discord, once again, if we get a Discord going, that could be like a fun community thing. Although anyone who plays it is probably like way ahead of where I would be. But maybe you guys would like make Smurfs or something, I don't know. It seems like you get iframes during your counterattacks there. That's nice. The one time in the game they give it to you.
Like this? An optimal solution. That one looks tough.
Yeah, and the new trailer they had recently where you like go to space or whatever seemed interesting.
Bonus down.
They had like some dude with like some kind of like floaty magic gun kind of thing, which looks rad, and I have like concepts for a similar kind of weapon, for like if I get around to like making a thing with my own characters at some point. So I thought like seeing that same kind of weapon was cool.
With this.
Oh, it's a healer? That's interesting. So like Anna from Overwatch, where they just put the gun mechanics and healing mechanics on one character.
Go ahead.
I guess theming more than mechanics. Mechanics make it sound like a large change. Do any of you know the game Terra? It's another MMO. I tried that for like a hot minute in college because they have like demon boys that I thought were hot. I think they did some cool things with combat too, but the demon boys were definitely a big plus.
Fair warning. It's gonna get rough. Sophie's have bonus retreated. Someone heal her? I'm not done. Wicked follow-up, Sophie.
Let's go.
Nuclear attacks are useless. Be ready.
Yeah, I tried Elder Scrolls Online for like half an hour, and it felt really bad to me. Like, it's been years now since I played Skyrim, but I could like feel the MMO like immediately. Things felt like really spongy. Everything felt a little bit more like on rails in terms of like your movement and attacks and stuff like that. So yeah, I wasn't a fan. So I'll probably just be like waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. Well, I didn't play like super early on though. This was only like a couple of years ago. I don't know if they had like a big revival recently. So maybe it would be worth giving it another shot at some point. But again, like the thing would be like if I had a compelling reason to play an MMO, like if a friend was like, hey, come play this with me, or again, if this becomes like a community thing. But if it's just like me sinking my own time into stuff, I would be more inclined to just like do several single player games rather than an MMO. I think Mike, who is one of the guys I was doing Valheim with last night, I think he says he plays 14, or did at least at one point. He's like a big WoW nerd, so he does a lot of MMO stuff. And it sounds like we might do Valheim as like a weekly thing on Sundays. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I was like less active with chat, but I think Mike and Pat are both hilarious. So hopefully our like interactions were fun. Clickers MMO and Sandbox. I'm definitely not averse to time wasting, because I'm the guy who will play Witcher 3 and the new Assassin's Creed games like Valhalla, and like literally do every single icon on every map beyond what it requires for like getting all the trophies, just because like I feel that need for completion, and the games are enjoyable enough that I actually want to. Another problem that I have with MMOs, and why I'm like less inclined to play them sometimes, is that once you start getting into the online sphere of games, there's a lot that you're like missing out on if you're not like really diligent about playing regularly and like getting all the events and timed exclusives and stuff like that. And that doesn't sit well with my completionist brain. Which I think it's sort of a silly feeling, you know, because it's not necessarily important, but it kind of feels important sometimes. And that's by design, you know, that's what the game designers are doing to make the game, like, attractive and something that people want to be involved in. I'd be interested to see what happened if someone made an MMO of a game that I was like, or a property rather, that I was already really into. Like if they did a legit Pokemon MMO. And I'm not counting Go. I've talked about Go before. Not to be exclusionary, like if you love Go, good for you. But to me, I view it as like an AR game with a Pokemon skin rather than a Pokemon game. I've never heard of Egg Inc., but that sounds funny. I'm imagining that, what the hell is that, like, fan Sonic game collection? Where, like, there's the Eggman one, where you run around as an egg. Sonic Dreams collection, I think is what it's called. There's one where you, like, have a couch date with Sonic. And then he, like, grows a giant eye and absorbs you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check this out. It's, like, really weird in the best way. Game Grumps played it too. That's another plug for them. Not like they need it, but again, I'm like a huge Game Grumps fan. This bus is a godsend.
Let's go. With this. Switch out.
Okay. Joker's paralyzed with fear. Can't move a muscle. Go time. Maximum power. Whoa. That was intense, Sophie.
You're really something.
Oh,
Sophie.
they're we have a couple showtimes ready. I'm not gonna like game the system too hard and try to save them. It doesn't really seem that worth it with him. There's some times where it's like handy to interrupt an attack that he's doing, but I think mostly I just need to like keep wailing away at him. We're like halfway now, that's good. And not to jinx myself, but no mobs so far, so I'm assuming no mobs, period. I think King Frost is the only one so far who did have additional mobs. And if we're lucky, he'll be the only one.
Incoming attack! Brace yourself! Joker, you're low on stamina. Be careful! Alright, the enemy's attack power's been reduced. I'm saved! You're nervous! That one looks tough. Everyone stay focused!
don't know if it does anything, but it seems like he's getting fear as well sometimes. I don't know from what.
Powerful, but it's weak to bless attacks. Give up divine punishment. Oh, this one help. Wicked follow-up, Sophie. Take a hit. Come out.
I better heal. I want to do media though, so we can heal Morgana a little bit. Oh, that did nothing. What the hell?
Thank you. Your turn. Fair warning. This one's gonna be rough. Sorry. Wicked follow-up. Panther has a fallback. She needs emergency treatment.
And I got ammo back. I wonder if that's if you revive a character, then they get ammo back. You can check Anne and see, because I know she's died 7 times.
Showtime! Maximum power! Whoa!
It feels so bad seeing that one little tick of damage.
Wow! Good! It's powerful, but it's weak to bless attacks. Give up divine punishment. Mona's running out of stamina. Spend it wisely. Take Keep it up, Marco.
Alright, let's give Anne a try and see if she has ammo. No.
Super strong. Be careful.
No idea then.
Sorry. That might come in handy. Yeah,
God, he's doing snowballs a lot now.
That one was tough. Everyone stay focused. Wicked follow-ups. Panther has a callback. She needs emergency.
Yeah, so speaking of her character design, this isn't like anything confirmed, but there was a kind of like thought point discussion when 5 came out that the Phantom Thief outfits they all have, particularly for the girls, are like sexual, but like in a specific way. Like Anne's is all zippery. Makoto as queen has the whole like step on me aesthetic. Futaba's UFO has like tentacles that come out of it and like grab her. And then to a lesser extent, Fox, what the hell is his name? Yusuke, has the little like foxtail, so people are like, oh, he's a furry. So like kinks maybe is a way of saying what I'm trying to say, which I feel like that's maybe reaching a little bit, and it's more just like the designers being horny for girls. But I thought that was like a very interesting idea, because the whole thing going on is like being true to yourself and like letting your like the inner parts of your character out, not wearing a mask, because they literally rip their masks out.
Panther's almost all out of stamina. Somebody help her. Sophie's too strong for battle. Can anybody heal her?
His power.
Like, I could see it going either way, because I totally wouldn't put it past the designers to just like have that as a thematic element, but only applied to the girls because
Intimidated.
you know, they're like super hetero and don't like acknowledge gay things at all, other than like sometimes as a poorly, like a out of taste joke, a poor taste joke.
Bonus down. Doesn't look good.
the desire thing is a little bit new to this one. The whole... Maybe not, I don't know. I don't remember exactly all of the, like, verbiage in the previous one, but the previous thing was like, we're gonna change your heart because you're, like, a corrupt person. And not so much like, we're gonna take these desires that you've stolen back. So it's, like, close, but not quite the same thing. No, come on, not now. I don't know how that didn't kill me. Sophie maybe just has, like, weaker attack. Because it definitely feels like that hitting him with her. Oh, yeah, I kind of noticed that earlier, now that you mentioned that. Good time for one more. Oh, come on.
Fair warning, this one's gonna be rough. You're nervous about that. Alright, the enemy's attack power's been reduced. I'm so grateful. Fast for him, Sophie.
Lucky out of dodge. This is actually not a bad strategy. I'm probably not hitting with my physical attacks, but I am with the bless skill at the end of my combo. Yeah, better heal Anne. Honestly, Jeddick, I have no idea what little blay you're talking about, because I can't, like, make heads or tails of half of what's going on. Oh, like that there, in, like, the middle of her combo? I think that's Sophie. Wonder if this interrupts his attack see is active. Looks like it, cool.
do it. Persona!
There needs to be like
Go ahead.
more sound effects, or the sound effects, if they are there, need to be more visible, louder, for when someone heals another party member besides me. Because I've done this a couple times now, where I like switch intending to heal, and then it's like already done within that span of a couple seconds. Yeah, it's weird when you think about it, because they're just like observing and like commentating here, but you can't use them. In the first one, in the original Persona 5, you could still only have 4 party members at a time, but you could swap them out during battle, you know, like any other turn-based RPG, but they don't let you do that here. Unless I'm like really a dummy and I somehow can and I haven't known it. Because like on this screen, and I've complained about this, why do I see all of them if I can only have a couple in combat at once? And I think that's true. I think I am locked to the 4 I bring in, but it doesn't make sense to have them all on that screen.
Let's go. His power.
The not being able to switch mid-battle is typically how Dynasty Warriors games go, though, so that, from that angle, it makes sense. The ones like the Switch and 3DS versions of Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors, you can have a couple characters, but you only have who you bring in. You don't get to, like, switch to your full roster. Granted, those games have much bigger rosters compared to, like, the 9 or whatever I have here. It certainly would... see, we did it again. I meant to heal and it already happened.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess that was kind of the end of my train of thought, but... Oops. Can I? Oh, he's stunned, that's why I can't use him.
Sure. Persona! With this! Persona!
Sorry.
Let's go. His power!
Yeah, great job.
What? I was so high in the sky there.
Switch out.
There, I felt like I was due for one. Oh. Yikes. At least his turn radius on that is like non-existent. Yeah, I don't have any insider knowledge about YouTube, obviously, since I'm just like starting out on online stuff, but from everything I hear from established creators, they are really not favoring gaming content right now. I imagine that for a lot of people who do gaming on YouTube. A large component of making it financially viable is just being big enough to do merch and things like that. Something like Twitch, I think, is easier in theory because you can get donations and stuff. I guess that's true for if you like streamed on YouTube as well. Circling back to Game Grumps, I've seen them do streams on there and people are just tossing huge amounts of money at them, like, constantly. Like, there's just constant money coming in. So that seems extremely lucrative, but obviously that's for, like, a very high echelon creator. That's gonna be different for, like, your random Joe Schmo like me. But realistically speaking, I think even, you know, Twitch is difficult in its own way. It's not like, again, a random Joe Schmo is going to be making a lot of money from that until you, like, make it and have, like, pretty high numbers. It's, I'm very curious about this kind of stuff and thinking about it as like a down the road thing. We got into finances a little bit the other night. It's not something that I see being like an immediate concern for me, because if nothing else, I don't want to complicate my taxes for like, you know, pennies of extra money. So if for me at least, if things like go well, I think at some point down the road I'll just have to draw a line in the sand and be like, okay, it seems like I'm gonna maybe make some money from this and now it's worth investing in that. Binary, you're talking about like the affiliate and partner program stuff, like the minimum you need to meet to actually make money. I don't remember what YouTube's is. I think they have that information out there to some degree, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't even fully remember how it works. It's like basically ad revenue, right? There's our all-out attack now that he's like 80% dead. Oh my god, that's so low. 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. Part of that is by design on Twitch's part, which I touched on. The affiliate program is not necessarily designed to be like, hey, you made it now, you can make money. It's more probably really like an engagement tool for people like at my level trying to do things on Twitch. You know, again, like there's pros and cons. I went over this a little bit. It's not fully advantageous for the content creator. There's definitely elements of it that are just like for Twitch. Whereas like YouTube and even Facebook, surprisingly, is much more, the requirements are higher, like you said. Like you have to basically make it more. But I take it from what you're saying, Binary, that you also like do some kind of content, or are at least interested in doing that.
Follow-up, Sophie.
Yeah, Calcitran, it's like, it's the same thing I'm saying again. Like, I could hit affiliate pretty quick here, but if I make, like, you know, I'll just randomly throw out a number. If I make like $100 over the course of a year, like, that's not worth it right now. The price I would put on complicating my taxes is higher than that, because I'm in a place right now where I'm fortunate enough to not be living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm not having to scrimp and save to that degree. You know, because I'm not trying to say like money isn't important, because obviously it is, but like, taxes just suck. I like am not the kind of person who can deal with that.
Go ahead.
Like that, the whole financial and financial adjacent sphere of like being an adult is one of my least favorite things in general. So like taxes, healthcare, anytime for like a job or something where it's like, here, get us like these 5 forms with like a bunch of information. I hate all that. I can't deal with it. I need to like become fabulously wealthy someday so I can just have an accountant. Okay, we're back. I don't know why OBS shit the bed there. I've been having good luck lately not having it crash, with the exception of Valheim last night, obviously, because my computer is not made for gaming and streaming at the same time. But you guys are peaches for sticking with me through all the technical hiccups. I suppose I should probably like mention in chat in case any of you need to refresh. Since my mom was having to do that the other night. Oof.
Sure. Persona! I'll use this. Come!
Sorry.
Let's go.
Thanks. Powerful.
Okay, there we go. It just took a minute for my viewer count to re-update. I figured you guys were still here because I can see you in the chat. Yeah, speaking of queer content creators, I would love to do something cool for Pride Month in June, but I have no idea what yet. Obviously, like, at this level, it's going to be harder to, like, reach out to people and be like, hey, do a thing with me. So, like, maybe something like that, if I can pull it. If not, I think there's, like, various like gay and LGBT themed games that I could do. Like we talked about Hades in a previous stream being like a bisexual wet dream, and I've been wanting to play that at some point, so Pride Month would be a good time for that. I'm sure there's a million other things, but that's like one specifically because that's like already on my radar of things to play. Have you guys ever heard of a game called Mount Your Friends? That's several years old now, but that would be very primo gay streaming content. I don't know. I guess when they did it on Friendzone on YouTube, they got away with it, so I could probably get away with it.
Oh man, that was tight.
Fair warning, this one's gonna be rough.
Maybe even Final Fantasy would be good for Pride Month, just because of the whole Catboy thing. No, yeah, I mean, that is a real game. I'm not pulling your leg. It's, you basically, like, build a tower out of dudes, and they all have, like, dick physics. And it's, the one I know is, like, 2D, I think they did, like, a 3D version at some point.
Alright, the enemy's attack power is reduced. Quick follow-up, Sophie! Powerful, but it's weak to plus attacks. Give us divine punishment. Here we go! Sorry,
Ooh, that was so last second.
Switching out.
Yeah. Huh. Persona! With this!
This
Yours.
one's strong, and ice is a no-go. Don't slip up.
The horny gay energy never left. It was just sleeping.
Joker, you're low on stamina. Be careful. That one looks tough. Everyone stay focused. I've got your back. Take this. Enemies take this down. Go to town on it.
Degenerate yaois. Is yaoi, a noun?
Powerful, but it's weak to plus attack. Give up divine punishment. Incoming attack. Brace yourself.
Look at that butt pat.
Are you?
I'll do it. Persona!
Yaoi is whatever you want it to be.
This power!
Put that on my gravestone along with all the other shit.
Go ahead.
Okay. Joker's down. This is bad.
Yeah, okay, so, this may come as a shock to you, judging from the fact that I play video games on the internet and am gay. Not a big sports guy, so the whole, like, straight guy touching each other's butt thing, it always existed in, like, a really weird space for me.
Go ahead.
Leave it to me. Warning. It's gonna be rough.
Maybe it's in your heart if, you know, fill in the blank there. I'm making an endowment joke if that wasn't clear. Which sounds terrible. I live for bro, butt pats as a class of 17. I wasn't like,
Sure. Persona!
I was like, not
This power!
that kind of closeted. Like, I was closeted and like not in a situation to like experience dude time because I hung out with people that played sports, but generally that wasn't a context that I was ever involved in. I was like the friend that people played video games with.
That might come in handy. Back with it. Incoming attack. Brace yourself. Joker, you're low on stamina. Be careful.
It seems like the fear on him is something of his backfiring. Unless it knocks him down, and that's why he's always knocked down when it's happening. I might be too far away from that, but we'll see. This might finish him off. We're close.
It's done.
Okay, cool. New weapon for Mona. Binary, the latency sounds like it kind of varies from person to person. Mine says 4.44 right now. But I've had mine be like 30 seconds locally, and other people have had it only be like 4 seconds.
My stamina's pretty much spent.
Alright, let's equip that.
Yo.
On Morgana. 14 seconds. I have it set to low latency. Obviously, like... Oh, that's fucking cool.
Enemy hasn't noticed us.
Obviously, like, the tech side of things leaves, like, a little bit to be desired, because I'm occasionally crashing sometimes. So I don't know if there's anything in the short term I can do to make it better. Oh, Morgana's a boy, by the way, Calcitrant. If that wasn't clear. He just has kind of like that kid voice. Yeah, gender is a construct. I'm just going by like what they say.
No more dungeon crawling? Then let's skedaddle.
No, what's not? Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's get to work.
I'm probably gonna do another shopping trip here. Because I'm assuming stuff will have respawned.
Are you double checking the request? Mission accomplished.
But I think I'll check out the Velvet Room first. See if I can fuse
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
either for Black Frost or
You wish to
something
browse?
else.
What will you be registering? Will you This persona, will you This persona, will you This persona, will you This persona, will you
Still waiting on the giant penis monster I promised you guys. He'll be showing up one of these days.
Persona has been registered in its present condition. Performing a fusion.
Doesn't look like I can do anything new at the moment.
You wish to browse the entries? You have no personas to register.
Where do I even want to be to look at here in the whole list? Okay. So yeah, Black Frost is 67. It's weird that I got that quest this early because it really feels like I wasn't supposed to. We'll just be done in here. I'm not gonna try to fuse things yet. Ludwig. I know the name, but I don't know that I know a face to go with it. Is he nuzlocking something right now? I feel like a friend of mine just messaged me about him, like within the last 24 hours. The dragon's what? Hi, Peppa. I have no idea what you're talking about, though. Did I say something about dragons? Yeah, he started a new Nuzlocke of Platinum. I'm sure it's a good time for that with the Diamond and Pearl news. Yeah, he looks vaguely familiar. I'm sure I've seen something of his at some point. Sleep streaming.
This should be helpful.
Doesn't Twitch, like... Aren't you not supposed to do that?
Are you sure?
I guess maybe if you're big enough, you can do what you want. Oh, a subathon? Yeah.
Are you sure?
It goes on for a few weeks, though. Jeez. Oh, shit, I'm selling my food again. Damn it.
Things are discounted right now. You should
And everything's on hold. Alright, I guess we're just gonna go back into the dungeon. Dragon peepee. I was talking about a giant penis monster. So that's maybe what you heard. But I don't know what I said that sounded like dragon. I'm gonna check the shops though. Even if Sophia's closed. Okay, sleep stream if you're not in a certain category. Yeah, I mean, like, if you can do it and it isn't gonna get you, like, shut down, yeah, like, get that bread. What a, like, I've said before when we talked about, like, VTuber porn and OnlyFans that that's, like, a great way to make money. But sleeping, that has to take the cake. You're literally doing nothing and you're monetizing it. That's capitalism at its finest.
Now then.
Peppa, the chances of one of us talking about a giant penis monster is always non-zero. So I don't know that there's a good time to join when that's not on the table.
keep your guard.
I think we're gonna go do the, like, real dungeon boss now. Unless we have to do a warden first. We're gonna do some kind of boss fight. But it seems like they're not doing a warden for this jail. Which I guess makes sense, because we're past the point of, like, the people who are being manipulated. What is LSF? I should probably know things like that if I'm being a Twitch streamer, but I don't know what that is. At least by the acronym itself.
Let's keep moving ahead. Where do we go from here?
Am I going the right way? Yes.
I'm not sensing any We're safe.
I'll stick with this party. These are my healers. It's either gonna be Anne or Makoto. No, might have to fight a couple groups of guys. Alright. Do I have anything that these guys are weak to? They're all weak to nuke and curse. I'm not ready for this. I guess I'll just have to use some skills. Oh, live stream fail, sure. Yeah, I know that. Just not by the acronym. Yeah, I hope I can end up on livestream fail today for doing some stupid shit. Like funny shit though, not like something like actually bad, like destructive to me or cancelable or whatever.
Show or whatever's wrapped up. I wonder what it was like. Kinda curious, honestly.
Oh, you wanna go see one sometime? We can go to bed. Once we get in the castle, we're headed straight for the roof.
You say that every time, I don't know if it's true or not. I think we might still have to fight more guys. Okay, I guess he was telling the truth.
Alright, the coast is clear. Let's make a break for the top.
Gotta turn my auto on.
I'm surprised how easy it was to get inside.
A little quiet for a castle. That's not normal, is it?
I don't think so. I've got a bad feeling about this. This is usually when everything goes wrong.
Porque no los dos, right?
It's so pretty.
maybe I'll do some really goofy shit and end up on there.
Whatever it's doing, it can't be good.
Intruders detected. Executing forced removal.
Is this thing a teleporter?
It's a friggin' trap. We gotta bail.
Wait, Skull, if you try to leave the circle, you'll get ripped apart?
You gotta be shitting me.
There's a game called
What happened?
Soma
It seems
where
teleported somewhere.
you're like in a
I don't feel so good.
like scuba suit or something, and you're like doing shit underwater, and you start like
All we ever do anymore.
switching bodies and like uploading your consciousness,
Hey, just stay cool.
which totally changed my perspective on things like copying your brain digitally or teleporters or stuff, which is why I got into this train of thought. Because like if you're doing a teleporter and it like breaks you down and then like reassembles you on the other side, who's to say that that's like actually the same you? I feel like it's like you die and then there's another you that just like thinks it was the same you. So I feel like, you know, if I'm like an old 80-year-old man someday, kids are gonna be like teleporting around and I'm gonna be like an old fogey because I don't trust it.
Ooh, what's that? I think we can ambush them.
Show me.
I'd need a lot of convincing to trust something like that. I'd need to like see and understand the science for why it isn't actually killing you. I think so too, yeah. Cloud stuff is definitely more likely. The, like, interesting and maybe exciting thing would be, can we get to, like, something akin to Sword Art Online? Not in terms of getting trapped and dying in a video game, but, like, something that maybe doesn't, like, upload our brain, but, like, interfaces with our brain somehow to like use that for like processing power and realism, because that would be cool. I haven't done Bond in a while. I don't know what I want. I think I've been working on these magic damage and buffs and debuffs. I feel like I've seen the word Neuralink, but I haven't read anything about it. I'm just assuming based on context, it's basically what I was just talking about.
Watch your step.
Yeah, like, in theory, if things are safe, great, I'm all for it. I probably just, like, wouldn't want to be an early adopter. Okay, yeah. It's also a little bit scary when you think about the idea of, like, what kind of long-term effects could something have that you aren't going to see for, like, 10 years. I think I saw something, and maybe this isn't real, but I feel like it is something where you can get, like, things like implanted in your fingertips that will then like work with a like laser keyboard, which sounds cool.
Persona!
What is he weak to? Shit, I'm like not. My brain isn't working. Where's my nuke? God, the nuke attack is so slow. Alright, I managed it. That sweet 97,000. No, I'm like... I'm game to keep talking about this. I just got distracted by the treasure demon. like implants in a limited capacity are less scary because it's not like the fingertip ones, for example. That's not going to touch your brain. It's literally just like a physical thing sitting in your fingertips. For how that would work. The brain thing, and why I use the term like interface with your brain, not like upload your brain, because again, I don't trust that if I upload my brain that I'm not killing myself. But if it's something that leaves my mind where it is and just interfaces with it and like interacts directly versus using my current senses, that sounds like something that could happen, and I wouldn't be worried about like overwriting and losing my consciousness in that same like Soma way I was talking about.
How did you escape? Quit resisting and come quietly!
Whoops, looks like we got company. So these are the jerks that sprung the trap on us?
I guess we should say thanks. Quit resisting and get stomped.
Is that them saying that this is the last wave of enemies then? I want Neburos for this if they're all weak to dark. Based on past bosses, I'm assuming it will be a good deal easier than the extra bosses. Or if nothing else, like, shorter. You know, they're not going to be a cakewalk, but they don't have, like, quite as much massive HP pools as the, extra fights. Yeah, I haven't done much VR, but if that can, like, continue to break into the mainstream, that would be good. I have glasses, obviously, like my avatar, so it's a little bit difficult and not as ideal. If it's, like, close enough to your face, you don't need glasses, I guess. So, like, for nearsighted people, for farsighted people, actually needing your glasses in there would be like that much more difficult, unless they can account for that. I don't know if they can.
This must be the security room. It looks like we can unlock that elevator from here.
So if we release the lock, we'll be able to keep going up. Can you hack it, Oracle?
Of course. Just give me the
Oh, we gotta do a hack fight.
Don't forget to cover my 6.
Yeah, for like
Alright.
general application, like if I could just like see my phone screen like through a brain interface and I didn't have to like actually have my phone, that would be cool. You know, it'd be great for like multitasking. Things like that though, also we're gonna have to like make some big internet infrastructure changes. And then also like changes in how the internet is monetized. Because like imagine right now having to not go over a data cap and then having like your phone always on in your eyes. This is a lot. I don't know if it can factor in your prescription, that's what I'm saying. You'd think, if not now, that they'll figure that out at some point. That's true. They do maybe have lenses. Oh, wow. That was a little bit seizure-y for a second. Honestly, the like thing for me to be a VR adopter is probably going to be streaming here. If I can like justify either through like content doing well or just if I have a big enough desire to like get VR with like full body tracking for things like VR chat or just being able to like articulate my hands on stream, which I know I could do with Elite Motion, but VR has obviously wider applications than just hand tracking. The ad thing is a concern I have too. Wow. Yeah, because like I already hate ads. Obviously it's working great for like corporate people for the most part, but I think like we need to find more ways to make it consumer friendly. For example, I usually am fine with them putting heavy sponsorship in a movie, like in Transformers. I know they've done that with like cars and drink brands and stuff. But like I'd rather that or have like a very comical, over the top like sponsorship than just like literal straight up ads.
Don't underestimate that. Nice, Joker. You struck a weakness.
We're like, I don't know as much about other countries, but the US is like really fucked with a bunch of laws currently anyway, specifically pertaining to like digital spaces. Like, we don't even have net neutrality anymore. Comcast can just like do data caps, even though that like studies have shown that it doesn't actually matter. They don't need to like save that data. It's just like an extra tool for them to suck money out of you. Yeah, I get that ads pay for free stuff, but again, they're like, I don't feel like I'm demanding too much for just like wanting to have my cake and eat it too, in a sense. Like, make good ads or deliver them in a way that doesn't feel shitty. Like sometimes YouTubers will like, you know, like Raid Shadow Legends. You see a million ads for that, which can get tiring, but some of them are legitimately funny just because of the people doing them. And that's not necessarily something you can do easily across the board because humor is subjective. But like that feels so much better than just like if you're watching Hulu or YouTube or something like that and you just get like a quote-unquote normal ad for something. Like, I don't want to see that. Cool, yeah. I'll be jazzed to see Sonic 2 when that comes out.
Thanks for the backup, everyone.
Doesn't look like there's any shadows
Are
around.
we... Oh, we probably turned something off out here.
Elevator's working.
Oh.
Let's head on up.
Oh. Wait, where did we... There's only one entrance and exit. I'm not sure where we came in the first time.
We should be able to ride all the way up to the top like this. Maybe we can even rest before we get there.
Guess that would have been a little too easy. Come on. Let's
Yeah, if we could get a checkpoint, that'd be nice.
Lots of shadow reach.
This is not rest, this is more fighting. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends is just like... That feels like the one I'm seeing everywhere right now. I guess there's the other stuff, like, I listen to a decent number of podcasts, so like, all of those brands, I am not going to list them off here, but you know the ones. There's a lot of stuff in certain online circles that you just see over and over.
seems we're quite ways up.
Have we reached the roof yet?
Probably not.
Stop! Picking up an enemy nearby.
Oh, let's see. Let me pause this here at some point and I'll just like read you off all the podcasts I like. I have like a list of maybe like 15 to 20. Most of which I listen to and some that are like in my backlog. So we're gonna have a little bit of advertising now, I guess, but it's for like content I enjoy, so that's fine. The Cox and Crendor show, that's Jesse Cox and Crendor, just like talking about whatever. Super Mega Cast, that's Super Mega. Good Morning from Hell, which is a Rooster Teeth thing, where they just like role play as Hell characters. The Star Wars New Canon Book Club, which is also Jesse Cox and friends, because I keep up with the extended Star Wars universe. Leighton Night with Brian Wecht. Leighton is from Game Grumps. Brian is also from Game Grumps and Ninja Sex Party. That's just another kind of like we talk about whatever show. Face Jam, which is a Rooster Teeth thing where they jam their faces with food and then talk about it. ProZD plus Pals. ProZD does like little character skits that you might have seen around the internet. The Real Canon, another Rooster Teeth, the one that just started, talking about like really anything pop culture, but a lot of Marvel and comic stuff. My Brother and Me, I've only seen a few of those. That's like in my backlog, but I've seen like a million clips. Mount Molehill, that's probably one of the least well-known ones on here. That's by Chase Young and Penny Parker of Snapcube. This one I would give like a legitimate go watch it plug to. It's very clever. They talk about like, so far at least, like Disney Channel original movies and discuss them in a very like what your English teacher in school wants you to pull out of a book kind of way. So like analyzing symbolism and like what the authorial intent was, which maybe sounds really nerdy and boring, but I think it's like the funniest shit. The first one was The 13th Year, which is about like a mermaid boy, and they started drawing like Jesus Christ allegories out of it. So check that out. That one's super funny. Another backlog one, We're Having Gay Sex by Ashley Gavin. I've seen her a lot on TikTok. She is a lesbian comedian. The Bald and the Beautiful by Trixie and Katya. That's in my backlog, so I don't actually know that much about that podcast specifically, but like everything they do is golden. And then Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I think Conan is very funny. And so I want to listen to that podcast at some point. So yeah, any and all of those. There's probably like a couple others that are like sort of podcasts, but they're really like vodcasts, video podcasts. So I watch them with the video component. Like several other things Rooster Teeth does would fall into that category. Look at how fast his health is going down. That's like how a proper battle should go.
Don't push over. Weakness to win.
Yeah, no particular reason on that. Yeah, I only like got into Trixie and Katya somewhat recently. I watched like one episode of season 12 of Drag Race, I think, because whatever is one back from what's airing now. And then I watched season 6 because a friend was like, that's the one to watch. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna watch Drag Race. So then I watched season 1, and now I'm like waiting for my sister to be around, and then we're gonna watch more with her. And then I've been making my way through. I'm like halfway through the Trixie and Katya show, and then there's the podcast to listen to at some point. They're great. I love them. Of course, like obviously, who doesn't?
Oh, look! I got a new skill!
It's an elevator.
It sure is.
Has to go up even more?
It looks really high. I can't even see the top.
Well, given Konoe's elevated opinion of himself, I'd say this is par for the course.
This is definitely feeling like kind of last zony, because these fights are like taking longer than they, or rather, they're just more fights than there have been.
I'll do it.
But this is very clearly not the final dungeon. It's gonna be like the fake final dungeon, and then they're gonna pull like 1 or 2 more out for like the secret villain, which I'm still guessing is Emma.
A birdcage? So this place has one too?
Every jail we've seen so far has.
But why would Konoe's jail possess one? Is he not the mastermind behind all this?
I don't know.
I guess that's good evidence right there that he's not the big bad.
He would have to know how they work. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. In which case, the only explanation is that he's trapped himself here with trauma of his own. Why would he do something like that? It could be necessary to creating a jail.
Does that mean Konoe's got some dark past too?
A guy that confident? I don't know. Doesn't really fit his image, if you ask me.
Confidence isn't real. Confidence is an illusion.
You said we need a key if we want to open this thing, right?
That's correct. And we can get a hint as to its whereabouts by touching the birdcage.
That sounds like an innuendo for something.
No, let me do it. I could use the experience.
Good luck. Make sure you don't let go right away.
Don't go crying on us, Gramps.
Huh?
Oh, you know those like back in the day when ladies had like giant dresses with like those metal cages to like make it big?
Almost operatic.
Maybe like getting underneath one of those is what touching the birdcage is.
Quiet! I hear something.
Abuse? Please, that's ridiculous. We do have a dog. Maybe that's what they heard? Right, Akira?
Hey, whose voice is that?
It doesn't seem to be Konoe's.
But he said Akira.
Somebody's got daddy issues.
Whether it was your dog or not, Konoe-san, we got a tip that you've been physically abusing your son. Apparently, Akira-kun has a scar on his arm to prove it.
Look, he fell over. How many times do I have to say it? Are we done here? I'd like to be left alone. You little shit. You see all this trouble you're causing me? Keep your goddamn mouth shut. And do as I say.
Boo abuse.
Damn. What the hell was that?
Konoe's past. We were viewing the trauma he keeps locked away in his heart.
Trauma?
There, there. Good boy. Who's a good wolf?
What am I, a pet? You guys could have warned me about that.
Well,
Pretty sure we did.
Not like you asked.
I feel like I've heard that excuse before.
Yeah, from yourself.
Getting back on track.
She was just like,
I heard
ya
that
basic.
voices mentioned something about abuse.
Was Konoe abused by his father?
That's terrible.
It's pretty messed up, but it doesn't justify all the skeevy shit he's been doing.
Indeed. What's past is past. Nothing changes the fact that Akira Konoe is an incredibly dangerous man who changes others' hearts and robs them of their free will.
What game had that tagline? What's past is present?
Being abused is the source of his trauma, then what exactly?
I think it's something I've played.
Just gonna have to ask him about it. Up close and personal.
Yeah, but first, we need the key to the birdcage. Let's head back to the real world and try to find the source of that voice.
Key to the birdcage, once again, sounds like an innuendo. Or like getting in someone's pants.
Was Kanoe really treated badly by his own father? Zenkichi and Akane were on bad terms. But nothing like that ever happened between them. Why did that happen to Kanoe? Aren't they family? So some humans are just like that then. Joker, do you think family is important? I do too. If I ever get family or friends,
she's like figuring out what being human means.
I learned that from the Phantom Thieves. I wonder how Kanoe must have felt back then.
Hey, come
Probably
on,
bruised.
Get going.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go, Joker.
Hey.
Okay, we do have a warden to fight. Yeah, like, being human sucks sometimes. Like, even if you don't have terrible abusive parents, you're probably still gonna get, like, fucked up by something. As I've gotten older, I've come to liken, like, being human and your mental state to something like needing to tune up a car. Like, even if you just use it normally and it's not like totally fucked up, it still wears down and gets a little bit broken over time. And you need to like give it a tune up and fix it up a little bit. Otherwise it will just deteriorate and fall apart. The food is back, so we're gonna shop here for a minute before we go do the warden fight.
Come take a look. Is this right? This what you come again?
Welcome. Is that all? Here you are. Oh, thanks for fun. Come again.
Come take a look. Is this it? This what you want? Thanks a lot.
What would you like? Thank you. We've got whatever you need. That's a pop cherry. I'll see you.
Yeah, there's like one or two shops here where I'm not buying something.
Why? And don't say it.
I guess this is like the closest this game has to like blowing through town and smashing all the pots. Oh, I think I remember that there's nothing in that shop on the right.
We've got whatever you need. That's a pop cherry. Thank you.
And I think one of these also has nothing.
Ah, welcome. Is that okay?
Is this... Oh, in this economy. I thought you said, is this economy?
Welcome. You picked me to come shop with.
He has like some grunt noises like you'd have from a silent protagonist. He announces his personas, and like a couple other things, but he doesn't have any character-to-character dialogue.
How may I help you?
For sure in the games.
That's what you like.
I don't know if he like talks in the anime.
And here you are.
I feel like he maybe doesn't.
Welcome. Oh, that's good.
Same thing with like the
Is that all? Here you go. Come back.
protagonists from 3 and 4. Yeah, I feel like the voice actor for him too is like someone people would know, but I don't remember. I'm not like really good with knowing voice actors. There's like a handful I could maybe pull out. Like, I could probably tell you when Johnny Young Bosch is voicing someone. Or for anime, which I usually watch subbed, I like don't know all the names, but I'll recognize a guy and be like, oh, we just heard him in this. Oh, sure, yeah, Xander Mobius. He's the announcer in Smash. That's why I felt like it was someone that we would all know. I think he's still the announcer. He was in Wii U, and I'm pretty sure he still is on Switch.
You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. You face the bench.
I know his face too, because I think people I follow on Twitter are friends with him. So, like around the time Smash for Wii U came out,
Are you sure?
he was like
Are you sure?
blowing up big for obvious reasons.
What should we make?
You making something?
Yeah, he does have a young face. I'm assuming he's like in his 20s.
This is great. Whoa, nice. Order up. Whoa, nice.
Very nice.
It's time to show my. Ain't this great?
It's interesting how some people just look young forever.
Great. We making this?
All done.
Looking good.
All of these voice lines are just Ryuji. Okay, 29, so close to not being in his 20s.
Now then.
Jeez, it's already like 10:30. I wonder if this is gonna be another stream of not getting to the boss. We'll see how quickly I can knock out the warden. I might want to wrap it up a little earlier than usual tonight so I can get some sleep.
So, this is Akira Konoe's family home?
Do you suppose Konoe's father still lives here?
No. He died 20 years ago.
What?
Good.
I found some police records of an incident that happened here back then. A burglar forced his way into the home and stabbed Konoe's father to death.
How tragic.
Not that tragic.
Value were gone, so it was ruled as both a robbery and a homicide.
But it sounds like it was maybe Akira himself and not a robber.
He lived here too, right?
He was 8 years old at the time.
Oh, never mind.
Survivor.
I don't think he killed his dad at 8.
Managed to hide in a closet. If this is the birthplace of Konoe's trauma, we'll probably uncover the truth about his father's murder as well.
Yeah, let's go fight a thing.
Let's do what we came here to.
Actually, the wardens are decently grindy. Not as bad as the extra bosses though. And now it's been a while. I think all of these extra bosses have been between the last warden I fought and now. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels in comparison. Jedek, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Inside the house now.
Looks like it.
The murder at 8 thing.
Whoa, who's that?
Is that Konoe's father?
You little shit. What do you think feeds you every day, huh? I swear you're just a bill. All you do is eat up my heart.
Oh, sure. That sounds familiar. I love John Mulaney, he's so funny.
Don't talk back to me.
can't watch this.
This house just looks like it belongs to someone who would abuse their kids.
Pain in the ass. Maybe I should just kill you two.
Two?
If she just handed over the money when I told her to. Nobody ever takes me seriously.
No, not Mom. You didn't.
Here he comes, enemy of evil, champion of those in need. Listen up, viewers. It's time to band together and call for Zephyr Man, protector of justice. Zephyr Man!
You're really taking a long time on these transitions here.
Guess I left the TV on.
Okay, I get it now. There are no heroes. No one's coming to save me, except to me. I have to become stronger.
Is he still in rehab? I hope he's doing better.
Then I'll be the hero.
What the fuck are you mumbling about, you freak? Not like it matters. You'll be joining your mother.
No, he
soon
left. Okay.
enough.
I'm assuming like he left and things are going well. I hope that's the case. Oh god, it just has bazookas. Yeah, okay, good. I want good things for him.
It's like I'm some kind of joke to people. You want to die? Trust me, I'll be glad to get rid of you.
This guy's sick. He really killed his own wife over some money? Unbelievable.
Usually it goes the other way.
That monster! How could anyone do something so awful?
Alright, what's the score week 2? Yeah, so not the most ideal party setup, but we'll see if we can manage. I should probably just actually use some skills here.
Watch out! He can still attack while it's moving! Let me help! Thank you!
Oh, this is not going to be that bad. His health, I can like already see it moving and I haven't even properly focused on him yet. These things do always have mobs though, so that's a pain.
Oh shit, he's packing some serious heat.
That thing's got a ton of firepower. Stay out of the crosshairs.
What are the Fortuna ladies weak to? Just lightning?
I'll do it.
Maybe I'll just shoot off a few lightning spells then.
Persona, take this.
Alright, what is he... I think he's weak to lightning. They share a nuke weakness. That's a disgusting pronunciation of that. I'd say like Yatsugarasu.
Let's go. North! Lilith! Trumpet! Never! Queen Ma! Queen Ma! With this! Take this!
Joker got in a follow-up attack. The enemy's burning up. Now let's finish your nuclear attack.
I could use Rajanaga to get some electric combos off. It's probably a good choice here.
Take this! Fire! Strike!
Seems like he just kind of rattled off a lot of different status ailments.
Don't let yourselves get caught up in the trauma. Try to stay calm.
Yeah, well, it's hard to stay calm after the shit we just saw.
Come on. Oopsie poopsie. It seems like they just want me to deal with all types here. Like, the enemy set is really diverse, so I don't know how you're actually supposed to do this other than just going nuts with Joker. Or maybe, like, I should be using Wolf for Megiddola. But again, that's just relying heavily on a certain magic skill. Yeah, let's hop off for showtime. I want them to just start spewing off like Gen Z TikTok lingo, like instead of, oh, you hit his weakness, something like, wow, Sophie, that really do be hitting different. I don't know if that would make me gag or laugh or both, but I want it. Alright, Futaba, keep that up. I remember thinking that these warden fights were such a chore earlier in the game, and now this just seems so tame in comparison.
So this is why Konoe was trying to become a hero.
Because no one was there to save him? That's terrible!
Showtime! Rajanaga! Here!
Whoa, you think this was Your attack power's reduced. Leave it to me.
Alright, let's see how much this does. Probably still shouldn't be doing it with Sophie. Yeah, that was pretty pitiful. And he's not doing that much damage either.
Wipe that stupid look off your face. I call this shot.
Damn, this makes me sick.
Oh, wake up already!
Thank you. And coming in clutch for once. Yeah, I hope someday. The discussions I've gotten into on Reddit are basically to that effect. There's like this one anime that I think is fairly recent that just has like these teens discussing like one of them feeling like he's trans, which is like unthinkable that there's an anime like actually addressing an LGBT issue, and like not only addressing it but addressing it in like a really cool and productive way. So it gives me hope that like maybe someday sooner rather than later Japan will like get with it.
Noe suffered all alone for so long.
And also, as it becomes more normalized in the West and Western media, I feel like eventually we can also just kind of like force their hand.
Akira Kanoe.
If what we just saw actually happened in the past,
Then Akira Kanoe escaped an abusive childhood and avenged his mother by killing his own father. He must have framed the entire...
Oh, so he did kill his dad.
...in order to avoid suspicion.
Okay.
He's a victim of some high and mighty shitbag too?
He must have felt so trapped. There was nobody he could turn to.
So he set out to become his own hero, and the power to change hearts helped him do just that.
It's just too sad. There had to be another way. There just had to.
Hey, cool it.
Yeah, precocious scamp.
Whatever his past was, it doesn't justify what he's doing now. Nothing makes it okay for him to take control of people against their will. If we don't stop him now, more and more people are gonna get hurt. You're all thinking the same thing, aren't you?
I'm just like stretching my back and then cracking my neck. You know, the thing about like gays can't sit straight, that's absolutely true for me. And I just have like bad posture habits, and then
We don't stop then nothing's ever going to change. Let's do
so I like when I'm editing right now on my Windows PC, I'm not looking straight ahead of me. I'm like looking up at a monitor or a TV, really, that I have mounted next to my main one, which is fine most of the time and works well for right now to just like look at OBS and chat. But for like editing, where I want to be like up close and like scrub precisely through a timeline, that doesn't work great, and also like is not comfortable for my neck. So I need to like get another monitor that I can like put in my desk for editing and stuff.
what about sending it to his company?
The police will probably be crawling all over the place. It's too dangerous.
And then also just like it looks crazier on my avatar.
Stick it to him good. Give him something he'll remember.
Yeah, it probably does. Yeah, if and that's probably true for sitting and gaming too.
You could always try pulling a repeat of
Like
Shibuya.
sitting in one position for a long time isn't gonna go great, and then any non-ideal posture you have is just gonna get exacerbated that much more.
We save the calling card planning for tomorrow then.
How come?
I mean, you know, because Zenkichi's part of the team now, isn't he? I feel like he'd be missing out if he wasn't here for his first calling card. Plus, he's kinda got a lot invested in this after everything that happened to Akane.
That's true. All signs point to Kanoe being the one who turned her into a monarch. Zenkichi's definitely got a bone to pick with him.
Alright, we'll wait to bring Zenkichi in on the plan.
Alright, we'll figure out the calling card tomorrow.
It's been one intense fight after another, so let's get some rest and get back to it bright and early.
Hey, is it just me, or has Yusuke not said a word since we got back?
Wow, out cold and still standing.
Dude's got all sorts of weird talents.
That level me up? I hope so.
Commissioner Kaburagi?
You look better than I thought you would. How'd it feel being on the
I'm not sure where they're parked.
Interrogation for once.
Somewhere. I don't know.
I managed to pull through. Guess I'm getting a little old for this, huh? More importantly, though, I heard something interesting from the Nijima lawyer. She told me the reason she was able to get me out was because she had help from a certain someone.
I haven't a clue what you're talking about. Anyhow, did you have business with me?
Commissioner, I'd like you to help me. I'm going to arrest Owada.
I would probably think it's like some kind of rest area sort of thing, and there might be like,
while Owada sits back and capitalizes on them.
you know, whatever like the equivalent to a gas station would be for like snacks and stuff like that.
Of some of us on the force. And I'm talking
I wasn't paying that close attention, but maybe that's what was happening.
If we don't act now, we'll never be able to stop them. Please, Commissioner. I can't do this without you.
Do you have any evidence to bring Owada in?
I'm on the verge of getting Konoe to confess. If we do that, we can expose all of Owada's crimes.
You really think Konoe will talk?
He'll crack. I know he will.
How can you be so sure? Are you planning to use the Phantom Thieves to change his heart?
Sorry, but I just can't tell you. Commissioner Kaburagi, do you remember what you said to me back when Aoi died? You told me you would cleanse this whole rotten organization someday, and that I just had to wait for the right time. That time is now.
Leave it to me and my collection of magical children.
You've changed, Hasegawa. Your little stunt cost me my chance at senior commissioner. Even my current title is in a state of uncertainty. I need to do something to restore my credibility. If I wanted to, I could serve all of you up to Owada on a silver platter, and he'd owe me everything for it. Did that ever occur to you?
Your sense of justice would never allow it.
My. You have 3 days. If you say you can do it, then by all means, make it happen.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I'll give back your badge as well.
Are you sure?
Fair warning. If you screw this up, I'll be covering my own safety above all else. No second chances. Do you hear me?
I won't forget this, Commissioner.
Shall I follow him, ma'am?
Forget it. He'll just throw you off. Actually, I have a more pressing task for you. I want you to find out everything you can about the Commissioner General.
The Commissioner General, ma'am?
I'm not one to pull punches. Never have been, never will be.
So, you're sure the Phantom Thieves have been dealt with, yes?
Yes, they're being held in the jail as we speak. I've got Emma keeping an eye on them.
Well done, Mr. Konoe.
I don't think you are, no.
I can stand up to you and that AI of yours.
Please, none of this would have been possible without your assistance, sir. Emma will show us the way forward.
Now, I may be getting a little ahead.
I don't remember if Owada is the Commissioner General, or if that's like someone we haven't met yet.
Someplace nice. I think you're in for a real treat.
Looking forward to it. Till then.
Calm ended.
Filth. Flapping those fat jowls of his. Roaches like him are the very reason why this world needs someone to enact justice.
You are absolutely right, Akira.
We'll have to hurry with making Operation Oraculi a reality. More importantly, how are things in the Kyoto jail?
No issues to report.
The Phantom Thieves are still under confinement.
Very well. And, just so
We're not even in Kyoto anymore. We're in Osaka.
Correct?
That is correct, Akira. It is impossible.
I guess she's just gaslighting him.
If you say so, it must be. We'll just have to let them rot, won't we? Now, to wrap this up. At this point, nothing can stand in my way. I'll take over this entire country. No, the whole world.
So I guess that's what's going on. That's why he has a birdcage. He obviously can't go into the metaverse. He's just taking her word for it.
So, I heard you guys...
And she's working her own agenda.
You guys are surprisingly particular, you know?
It's the first calling card we're sending out since you joined. Figured you'd want to be there for it.
Well, it's not like I haven't helped out with one already. It doesn't seem like that big a deal.
That's why we have a little proposal for you. Why don't you write this one, Zenkichi-san?
Me? But I've never written one before.
Yes. Remember what Kanoe did to Akane. You simply need to express your rage.
Well, it's true. He does have to answer for that.
All right, that takes care of the calling card. We just gotta figure out how to send it.
Hey, I didn't agree to anything.
He's so comfortable bad-mouthing us on TV. Maybe it's time we gave him a taste of his own medicine.
Copy the enemy's strats?
How about an online broadcast?
We need more impact.
Could we just hand-deliver it, maybe?
If we want to get arrested, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like that's what they're leading me down.
I'm not sensing a clear winner here.
Get a
Guys, check it out.
partnership with Epic Games and announce it in Fortnite.
Is that a blimp?
Oh, you don't see them very often nowadays.
How's a blimp better than a broadcast?
It's the only airship in Japan that's currently in service. It seems it's being used to advertise Emma for Medice at the moment.
For Medice?
Apparently, it circles Osaka's airspace every day.
Every day?
You know what else is available every day, all day? The internet.
All right.
This is the request.
Okay, no new requests. I got bomb points. So let's spend those. We'll go for the buff. Get that maxed out. And then either work on some of these other ones or the SP or whatever goes in this last slot. Hopefully something really good. Let's see, is there anything else? Guess we could check the Velvet Room.
Hello, Trickster. Oh wait, it seems that it can gain...
Yeah, we can do Thor and Fornius. Cool.
You wish to browse the... What will you be registering?
Oh, I guess because we have Valkyrie. I was gonna toss her, but I guess I won't.
Will you register? This persona has... Will you register? This persona has... Will you register? This persona... Will you register? This persona... Will you register? This persona... Will you register? This persona...
I feel like I'm almost never leveling up Joker's persona in this. Or any of his personas, rather.
Performing a fusion.
Maybe I'm just not using him enough.
It seems that it can gain new power.
Huh, okay. Oh, I guess just because they leveled up. Neither of those are actually using Valkyrie.
Wish to strengthen it.
So we will sell her.
Performing a fusion, it seems that it can gain new power.
Okay, so he's a psychic boy. I think I'm mainly just using him for Wind and Amrita. Thor is going to be a Thunder Boy. I mean, the rest of the party I use often enough. And Morgana and Sophie the most because the latter two have Revive and Anne is a strong mage. I like Makoto a lot too, but Anne just seems to circumstantially win out. I probably want to summon these guys back. Thor would probably replace Rajanaga as my thunder guy, because his resistances are better. Does he actually... He only nulls electric, not drains it.
It seems that it
And Fornius drains psychic, so that's worth having. Let's see, do I have fire, ice, and light on anybody else? Yes, yes. And yes on Chromatengu. So I want to make sure I pass light.
It seems that it can gain new power.
If I fuse these guys. Cool, and I can. So we'll do Amrita drop for sure. Medium wide. We'll do medium wide. And then wind also for sure. Heavy wind. Yeah, it's a wide. And then ice, I think.
Is this the persona you'd like? Be born anew.
So Fornius I'll keep, that should be fine. I don't think I need those other two because I passed all the skills I need.
It seems that it can
I fuse these guys for Thor? Yeah, that's gonna cost more, but then I don't have to resummon anybody, so that's probably
It seems that it can gain new power.
like a close turnaround. Maybe weaker skills, but I can give him regenerate, nuke, other spells here. I think I'll just do this.
Choose which.
Maybe Meteorama too, if I don't have that on anybody else. Let's go with that.
Be born anew.
Alright, now we'll get out of here and get to the interesting stuff. Oh, Cerberus too.
Seems that it can gain new power.
Oh sure, this fucko. I probably don't need Yatagarasu. Honestly, I don't even need Thor, because he doesn't drain electric. So maybe I'll just toss these two and then use Cerberus. That works out fine. We'll do regenerate again. Don't need electric. Don't need fire. I don't think I even need nuke, but I'll do it just because it's not as common now. Maybe Meteorama again. And I guess we'll do electric too, that's fine.
Is this the Now, let us begin.
Once you get near the end game in a Persona game, you start getting things like this where they'll have null or drain, and then you want to like flesh that out on your party.
You wish to strengthen.
So how am I doing? Oh, I guess he kind of replaces Mab too, except for healing. But also she doesn't even have a proper fire combo. Do I still have, I do have Neburo still. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good then.
May luck be on your side.
We'll find out mid-battle if I'm not. Okay. I'll check the shop.
Welcome. There's a sale happening. How many would you like? You face the bench.
Yeah, looks like there are items to do.
Face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench.
Yeah, some of them do get pretty weird.
How many would you like? You face the bench.
It's all like stuff from mythology. I mean, a lot of like the weird ones are probably pretty true to form. Because if you look at like old illustrations of deities and creatures and things, they look really out there and weird.
You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench.
Where... Okay, I'm still here. I guess I'll check again if the shops have anything.
What will it be? Said okay.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna make another shopping run.
We've got whatever you need.
I know that's super interesting to watch.
Welcome. Is that what you want? You picked me. Come again.
Or maybe... It's weird that that one was partially sold out. Like, they didn't fully replenish their stock for some reason.
Is this all? Take thanks.
Oh, welcome. That's what. Here you are. Take it. Is that what? And come again.
Welcome. Oh, thanks a bunch. Oh, thanks. Please come back.
I don't know what's all the way down here, but I don't want to leave anything behind.
Welcome. Come again.
Yeah, imagine trying to carry all this on, like, a tray, like, server style. I've never done a waiter job, so I have, like, no coordination that you would use for something like that. I guess I do, like, for, like, a single person carrying, like, their own food at home, I juggle things and try to, like, do it in one trip as often as I can.
Hi, welcome. That's a pop. I'll see you again.
Hello, dear. Be sure to.
We've got it all. This what you come again.
Yeah, I'm definitely try to do it in one trip grocery kind of guy. And I just like destroy my arms with the weight from all the straps on bags.
Is this it, right? Is this right? Come again.
It's like there's a common root there between that and like being the kind of person to like binge a show.
Hey, welcome. That's come again.
Which I am.
Please take your time. Is this?
I consolidate things into like big chunks, whether it's work or entertainment media.
Well, hello. We recommend. Can you? So that's what. Thank you. So that's what. Can you? I'll be waiting.
Right, I think that's everything. Yes, and then we can warp back to the start. Double check to see if there's anything else I can cook, and then send the calling card.
Time to cook.
Ah, you're gonna cook? Going with this? Oh, look at this! Good choice. Oh, look at this. Good choice. Looking good.
I probably should just like be done here and do the boss tomorrow, but I kind of want to get it done now. Well, I don't know. Because if we do the boss, then it's gonna be like half an hour of cutscenes afterwards. I think maybe I will just call it here for tonight, actually, so I can rest my 2 brain cells for once. My avatar freaks out so much when I'm just itching my nose. Yeah, I want to be a good little boy and get some sleep, so I'm gonna bail on you guys a little bit early tonight. But thanks for hanging out with me. Good to have all you guys here. Binary, thanks for tuning in. Jedit, Calcitrant, you guys too. Oh, well, if you aren't able to make the stream tomorrow, you can always check out the VOD, but we'll miss you. Yeah, you guys all get some sleep too. Hit Tuesday hard. Kick it in the balls. Yeah, glad you guys enjoyed it. Alright, I'm gonna turn off for real then. So, good night everybody. Thanks again. And see you when I see you.